Hi everyone, and thank you for joining this session on dashboards in LifeQI. Firstly, I'd like to apologise to anybody who joined the session live yesterday. As you can tell, we were experiencing some technical issues, so we weren't able to do that, unfortunately. So sorry for kind of wasting your time there. Hopefully, you can get some insight from this session. We will also rerun the live webinar, hopefully in a few weeks' time, and we'll put a date out for that in the near future. So for today's session, we're going to be looking at dashboards, and dashboards is one of the two types of reporting in LifeQI. So we have the other type of reporting, which is the standard reports. These are run on individual projects or group of projects, and these are a static snapshot of those, whereas the dashboards are more of a real-time view to understand the status of your work in LifeQI, whether that's across a system, hospital, department, whatever kind of breakdown that is. So we're going to have a look at a few different types of dashboard today. And as we go through there, we'll look at how to access your dashboards, how to navigate dashboards, some of the common types of dashboard, and also some tips for using dashboards in things like presentations. So before we go and do that in detail, just highlight where you find dashboards in LifeQI. So we've got the analytics area here. So if you go into here, you'll see a list of dashboards, and you should have a default dashboard for your organization. So see that in your list. If you do have other dashboards that you have access to, they'll appear there as well. If you have a lot of dashboards, you can come and search them using the search function up here. If I open up an example, I'm just going to talk for a few minutes about the different bits of a dashboard. So we've got obviously the metrics down here, which we'll come to in a moment, as we go through the different types of dashboard. But I also wanted to point out a couple of other features. So one of those is if you go into the second tab of Manage, this gives you more information about this dashboard. So the title of the dashboard, the data set that it's pulling from, and also the template that it's using. So every dashboard in LifeQI is run from a template. That template defines the information, the metrics, the charts that are going to be displayed on there. So those templates can be edited by administrators. So any of you with administrator privileges would be able to do that for your organization. If you need any help with that, then please reach out to your success manager or to our help team, and we'll be happy to assist you. In terms of accessing the dashboard, just like you have on a project, we have the membership panel on the right-hand side. So this is identifying who has access to this dashboard and their rights of access as well. So you can see this is an organization-wide dashboard. So everyone in this organization can come and view this dashboard and see the status of these projects. And then final thing to point out on here is within the actions area. So there's a couple of functions in here that might be useful. One of those is the pin feature. So if you click on here, this is going to pin this dashboard to your start page. So when you log in to LifeQI, you will see this dashboard on your start page. You can go directly to it from there, so you don't have to come and find it each time in the analytics area. Just saves you a bit of time and make sure you have everything to hand. There's also the function here to save dashboards as a report. So this will save this in LifeQI, but it will also enable you to run this off as a PDF. So you can go and take a snapshot of this dashboard and save that elsewhere. Obviously, dashboards are changing all the time. So if you do want to get that snapshot, then that's the quickest way to do it. Just come and save that as a report there. Okay, so that's kind of basics of dashboards. Now we're going to run through some of the common types of dashboard over the next few minutes. So dashboards can be used to look at data from a whole range of data sets. So it could be across the whole system, hospital, department, or even the theme of work that's going on. And I'm going to talk through some different types and how you might use those now. So the first one we're going to look at is the organization-wide dashboard. And that's the example we've got open now. And this is really a top-level overview of project activity and progress within this organization. So just to point out some of the metrics that are common on these types of dashboard. So we have the current projects metrics. So this is the number of currently active projects, number of those projects that are showing improvement, significant improvement, or outstanding results. And these are hyperlinked numbers. So if I click on this number 3, it's going to take me to the project list of those 3 projects. So if you want to dive into the details of the projects, you can do that really easily from your dashboards just by clicking on the numbers there. You can see in here, we're also monitoring the number of projects that are active over time. So it's got a steady increase in number of projects over time here. And also another metric by time split by month. And this is showing the project progress over time. So each of the colors represents a different level of project progress. And these are mapped to the project progress scores that you're probably familiar with seeing in the projects themselves. Next up in the chart below is breaking this down by group. So you can see different groups here. This organization is split by divisions. You can see all the different divisions, number of projects they have running, and the progress of those projects being represented by the different colors. So this is really useful if you're trying to see where QI is occurring across the organization and how that's progressing, and get a really quick breakdown of that. Of course, what you might then want to do is have dashboards for those individual divisions to look at a bit more detail of those projects, and we'll come on to that in the next example. Below here, we've got some simple counts around projects. So this is the new projects that have been created. So here you can see projects created in the last 7, 30, 90 days. So this is a good way good sort of leading metric to look at your activity. So how many projects are being created at any time and sort of tracking that. You can see that as we go through the different months as well, which is the graph that you see here. And then we've got a similar type of thing for completed projects. And below that, we've got some measures for how the projects align with different priorities that the organization is working towards. So I'm sure some of you have got priorities set within LifeQI for your organization. So key things that you're working towards as an organization. You can see in this example, there's 4. So they're listed here. And then there's a number of projects related to each of those priorities. And a number of those projects then that are demonstrating improvement. Again, these are hyperlinks, so you can go and dive into the details of those. If you're needing to present, what you're doing on improving health outcomes, you can come and see what projects you've got running, what progress you're showing, and so on. There's also a simple count at the bottom here, which is projects that are not linked to an organizational priority, which might be important to use and understand as well. So these dashboards are really useful for anyone really, but often used for sort of management and executive review of the QI portfolio and sort of assessing return on investment in terms of, the number of projects that are running versus the number of projects that are showing improvement and those types of things. So really, really useful tool. You can use these as in presentations as well. So you can see, as I've just talked through there, you can do that live on screen. So there's no need to sort of export this and make other presentations. You could talk through it right here as you go through your project and give everyone a good update on the current status of QI. Okay, so that's the first one. I think the next one we'll take a look at is the divisional dashboards. Before we do that, just wanted to go into the organization profile. So you may be familiar with your organization profile in the organizations area. This is where you set things like your priorities, have a list of projects. This is also where you can define groups for your organization. And you can see within this organization, a number of these groups are related to divisions. So it's sort of split by their organizational structure. So you can set that up, or your success manager can help you to do that as well. And then basically what you can do is you can run dashboards related to any of those different divisions. And this is the example that we've got here. So we've got an example here for the children's divisions. This is going to give a deeper dive into the QI activity within this particular division. So really useful for anyone who's overseeing QI for a department or division, also for any improvement advisors or anything that are sort of helping out in those areas. Then they can access these dashboards and get a bit more information that they need to go about their work. So you can see some common metrics on here that we saw in the last dashboard, things like active projects, completed projects, project progress. So these are showing different progress scores that we see here. But it's also pulling out much more detailed information about the projects that you can see here. This is a live fed table listing all the projects running in this division and giving us basic information like the title, the aim, when it started, how it's progressing, who's running it, number of people involved, number of changes tested, and you can also get fed into here the progress updates, status updates from the teams as they're going about their work in Life QI. So really useful if you are overseeing some of these bits of work, just to be able to come in here and see the status of those. You can also have counts in here for things like stalled projects. So if you want to be alerted to stalled projects in the department that may have started and then not really got the momentum going, then obviously you can have those sorts of counts as well. Yeah, so if you're an improvement coach or department lead, then this is going to be a great dashboard for you to have. And yeah, if you don't have them already, then as I said previously, please speak to us or look on the help center or contact our help team. Okay, so next type of dashboard is a slightly different dashboard, and this is going to be an administrator dashboard in Life QI. So the administrator dashboards are not looking at projects and project progress, but they're looking at users and user activity. So these will be really useful if you are an administrator for your organization and you're trying to keep track of your user activity and how your licenses are being used and level of use under your subscription. So you can see here, we've got typical user metrics, things like number of verified users you have, tracking those through different time periods, number of people that have been active recently. So you can see these on basic counts. Again, you can go and click on these and take you to the user lists as well. So if you want to go and analyze who that is, you can click on these numbers. You can see those in chart form, things like how many people have signed up per month and logins per month. You can track those here just to gauge how much activity there is in the system and the engagement of staff as well. This count also has a count of stalled projects, so just sort of keeping an eye on that to see where projects are starting in the system, but then not really progressing beyond that. So that's a slightly different flavor of dashboard. Just wanted to point it out because it is quite different. It is obviously only useful really for your organization's administrators. But yeah, really useful for evaluating the usage of your licenses. Okay, moving on swiftly, we're going to have a look at the fourth type of dashboard. So this is a training dashboard, or this will be a training dashboard. So first off, I wanted to point out this group here. So this is a group that's been set up for a training cohort. So you can do this under your organization. This is then a home for anyone involved in that training. So they could be in the members list over here, and basically gives a home for their project work, which you see listed here, and also enables them to share ideas, learning, successes in the discussion space as well. So it really facilitates sharing amongst the cohort within this space. And then by setting up the group, you can run a dashboard from that. So this is the dashboard example. This is looking at that training group and seeing the number of projects that are running. Maybe some of those projects are already completed. The progress of projects, so sort of checking in on these. And I guess a really important one here is the stalled projects. So where you have training and people are maybe getting some face-to-face training, but then they're going off and running their own projects and tracking those through live QI. Them sort of having oversight of what they're doing in those times and how their projects are progressing is really important. And obviously seeing success is great, but also understanding where people need a bit of support and help is really important, and that's often identified through the stalled projects here. So you can see that progress over time. You can also, just like we saw on the divisional dashboard, pull out these live tables as well. So summarizing the different projects and their activity and getting the updates from the team as well. So these are really useful if you're overseeing a training cohort, if you're trying to assist people with their project work, particularly if you're running training over a long period where people are going off and running their own projects in maybe their own departments, and you're trying to sort of centralize that and keep track of that, then this is a really useful tool to enable you to do that. Okay, and the final dashboard I wanted to talk you through was a more thematic dashboard. So these can be set up on any different theme or priority that you may be working towards. And you can see I've just gone into the dashboard list here, and you can see a variety of different dashboards that we've got set up listed in this space. So things like the safety projects dashboard, we've got our priority projects dashboard, COVID response work dashboard. So there's a whole variety of different things in here that relate to your organizational priorities, maybe also to regulatory requirements, so that you can pull those up and have those numbers and that information to hand as well. How this works is, obviously you have, if we flip back to the organization page, you can see the groups again that we looked at earlier. So groups here, we were looking at how they were split by divisions earlier, but you can set up other groups as well within here. So that's one way to sort of split up your themes, themes of work and groups of people. But also, if you are familiar with the project interface, you'll remember the tags within here. So these are another way to sort of categorize projects. So you can see we've got projects tagged here with pressure sores. So you could then run a dashboard based on projects with a pressure sores tag and pull all those out and surface that information onto a dashboard. So really quite flexible in how they're applied, whether you're on groups, tags, and also on priorities. So when you've identified key priorities for the organization, then running dashboards and understanding what activity is being undertaken related to each of those priorities is really useful. If I open an example dashboard, so this is our projects by priority. So you can see our first priority, improve patient experience. This is then a list of all the projects that are currently running related to that, how they're progressing and who's running them. And we've got the same thing for our other priorities listed here, here and here. So really quick overview of that. You could also add number counts within here if you wanted to, and any of the different charts as well that we've looked at in some of the other dashboards. So really just helping you understand the flexibility of the dashboards, that they can be run on different elements, on groups, on priorities, and on tags as well. Okay, so another thing to note is if you are working across a health system or group of hospitals, you may also benefit from a cross-organisation dashboard. They can be a great tool for an ICS, or if you're running a collaborative improvement effort. And these are a custom dashboard which we can help you set up. So please, if you are working across multiple organisations, then do contact your success manager, speak to the help team, and we can assist you in setting those up as well. Okay, so hopefully that's given you a bit of insight into the range of dashboards available in Live QI, as well as how to access, navigate them. They're a really great tool for tracking your activity and progress, and also the return for your basically the time that's being invested in QI and helping you understand that. They're also a really good tool for presenting your data in meetings and helping to facilitate discussion amongst the team around any part of your project portfolio. So hopefully this has also prompted some ideas from yourselves about the different types of dashboard that you would find useful. And they are quite flexible and adaptable. And so if you're interested in developing a more bespoke dashboard for your organization, then we can absolutely help you do that. Please speak to your success manager or the help team, and we will talk you through that. And we'd love to hear your ideas on the different types of dashboard that you might want to use. Okay, I think that's everything for today. So thank you for listening. Apologies again to anybody who joined live yesterday. But hopefully this has given you a bit of insight into the dashboards, and please get in touch if you do have any questions. Thank you. Bye.